Hey, thanks so much for joining us in our first episode of our Sale Wins podcast. Without getting too much into introductions, my name is Sean Prober. I've been working in marketing about 7 years now. This podcast is primarily going to be used to give a little bit of insight for the restaurant business in terms of social media management, in terms of newsletters, in terms of pretty much everything. So today's topic, just to jump right into everything, is about what's going on right now with our TikTok ban, or our potential TikTok ban, which frankly is very upsetting. I recently got some of the guys in the office involved in starting up some TikToks and seeing what kind of measures we can get. And I was frankly amazed, especially in terms of local marketing. If you pinpoint, use some hashtags for a town or city, just how much organic reach you actually get. I don't think a lot of people realize this. Just as far as a metric, about 4x on the test that we've seen. 4x more organic reach than we've seen on Facebook or Instagram with the exact same content, the exact same hashtagging. So when we heard about this ban, we were obviously very upset. But getting back to what we were saying, as far as organic reach goes, and not a lot of people know this, on Facebook and social media in general, Twitter, Instagram, we're talking about very, very, very low numbers. If you have a page, for instance, and even if you have many thousands of people and you post something, you probably won't get more than a few views. The general rule is about 2.5 that we see a lot. 2.5% of the people who like your page are actually going to see what you post, which is pretty horrible, especially given the amount of money I've paid for likes on pages to Facebook. I'm sure many other restaurants and other businesses have done the same without a lot of response, and that is a bummer. Something that we do in a lot of our properties, we try to make groups, and groups actually do ton better than we see with our pages. There are some limitations to them, especially if you work in politics. There's a lot of problems that come along when you're doing groups, but we'll save that for another time. But as far as just restaurant touring goes, I would try to establish groups when possible. When you have a page, I instinctually set up a group, and it's going to help out. It's going to be able to reach more. When you compare your group numbers to your actual page numbers, I can't think of an example that it's not night and day. So that's one way to get your organic a little bit higher on social media, on Facebook, and but it will be very alarming and very upsetting to see TikTok go, because I have some great plans for it, or had some great plans for it. What is on the horizon, and I don't know whether or not to get excited about this, but Instagram is looking, I think it's almost completely developed. They've given it to a few testers, but they've developed basically TikTok, a replica of it. When I say Instagram, I mean Facebook, and that should be launching Wednesday. Now, my gut tells me that if it's from our buddies over at Facebook, well, probably not going to be getting the same kind of reach that we were seeing when it was managed, I guess by Chinese interests is the claim. Without getting too political, I think it's a level of protectionism that I'm somewhat alarmed by. But yeah, so I back to kind of the organic point on Facebook. What people don't see, and I guess this is kind of the tie-in or the sales pitch. I didn't initially intend to even kind of bring this up, but for anybody, I think this is good general advice. And, there are 5 billion, 5 billion companies probably that do some level of restaurant marketing. So whether or not you use us or use them, or learn it yourself, I recommend getting into ads. I really do. We can talk about driving traffic. Even the most successful pages on Facebook, you're not going to get the threshold that you need. You're not going to be able to get reliable new customers in there with that method. Ultimately, it'll be a place at best for the customers that you already have to, go and see and maybe get some new deals, and it can be utilized well. But as far as bringing in new customers, that's not the point of that. And Facebook's not going to let you reach enough people through their organic reach. What I would recommend, and what we do for a lot of restaurants, we like to do 2 weeks where completely no charge for our services. And over those 2 weeks, we have you put $5 in every day. And we use our bag of tricks and our techniques with that $5. And at the end of that 2 weeks, then we can have another conversation about actually hiring us. What we see a lot is a lot of customers use that time to think that they're experts. So there might be a little bit of a delay from the time that we kind of show everybody what goes on during those 2 weeks and them trying it themselves. But some people have actually tried it themselves and been very successful, and that makes us very happy. Our brand gets increased, our reputation increases positively, so that's an awesome thing. And somebody thinks highly of you in your neighborhood. Can't ask for more than that. Time well spent for the agency. So, so even if you just wanted to throw in a small amount right now, do it. We all have a little bit lying around. I think you'd be very, very surprised by how much impact you could actually see. And when you scale upward, how much impact that could actually have in your business. So that's, I think, a good place to end it here. We'll avoid too many plugs in the future. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some insight. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them over. Always happy to help. Always happy to meet some new people. Thanks so much for listening.